Well, really, the gangbuster news from Google today was discussions with Chinese authorities hacking into the Gmail service, targeting, allegedly, human rights activists. What exactly is the cause and effect of this story? Over to the Bay Area and Joe Galante, who is watching this stuff like a hawk. Joe, where did this story completely came out of left field, out of the wild blue yonder? Where did it come from, and where has it landed right now?
Well, what you're seeing here is Google expressing some frustration at the conditions the Chinese government has put on them to operate their site in China. Basically, what happened was some hackers hacked into Gmail accounts, Google's email accounts, and Google says it has evidence that suggests that those hackers were targeting human rights activists in China. In response, they said they're going to no longer censor search results on their search page, which competes with Baidu. This was one of the terms of conditions they had to do to operate their site in Google. They're basically saying we're frustrated at being censored by the Chinese government, and we're willing to pull out of the country if these issues aren't fixed.
Well, where is this going to lead us to? So they're basically throwing down the gauntlet to the Chinese and saying, and they're playing a game of chicken and seeing who blinks first. Are the Chinese going to blink first? I doubt it. I mean, isn't history littered with stories about how they basically nailed the screws on companies that try to raise the heat on them?
It's a shot across the bow for sure. And it remains to be seen what actually happens. One analyst we spoke with said that, look, Google's business in China isn't that great. This may be a bit of a fake, a bit of posturing on Google's part to regain some of the power and engage the Chinese government in a dialogue. So it remains to be seen if they actually do pull out of the country, but it's definitely a threat that they're making at this point.
You know, global search engines, global portal operators have come under fire in their home countries for acceding or capitulating in the past, if I remember correctly. And I might be getting the succession of events a little bit twisted up, but you get the gist of it here. I mean, they've come under fire for acceding to censorship and doing things that they would not be politically palatable in their home countries, and yet, you know, it's the host country in this case which may be making things difficult. I mean, if you want to, is it better to engage or disengage? I mean, it becomes more of a political than a business debate at some point.
Well, you may remember that U.S. congressmen began criticizing Google over the years for capitulating to the Chinese government and actually censoring their search results on their website. Just in the past year, when China began cracking down and blocking access to sites such as Google's YouTube, Microsoft's search engine, Bing during the Tiananmen Square anniversary, Google went to the U.S. senators and lawmakers and urged them to put pressure on the Chinese government to back off these restrictions. I mean, Google is definitely trying to pull out all the stops they can, be it this public demonstration, public threat to pull out of the country, or even going to U.S. lawmakers and asking them for help. It's become a serious issue for Google.
Throwing down the gauntlet by Google. We'll see where this one goes. It's going to occupy the airwaves, obviously, for the next several hours. Joe Galante, my man, be good in San Fran.